University of Calgary kinesiology lab students bend at the waist and try to touch their toes, but many can't. That's where Kelsey Andrews and Nate Bodowitz come in. They're conducting a workshop on Ki-Hara resistance stretching where these students will be mashed and stretched. Ki-Hara is a combination of massage, contraction, and controlled movements that Bodowitz and Andrews claim increases flexibility and lengthens muscles. Bodowitz is a personal trainer and helps operate Stenia Health and High Performance in Calgary. Andrews is the owner and head coach of Stenia, and she works with numerous high-performance athletes. One of them is Canada's Golden Girl, Hayley Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser, the three-time Olympic gold medalist, and her trainer were introduced to Ki-Hara in 2009. As they tried it out, Andrews was impressed by what resistance stretching could do.
I practiced on her all summer and then saw what benefit it had in her performance and her body and her ability to move, and I was just like, what the heck?
It's been a while since we've done this, eh? Yeah.
Nate Bodowitz stands atop the prostrate form of Chris Maddock and uses his feet to rub and squeeze the leg muscles of his client. Maddock is a local mixed martial arts fighter, and his breathing is relaxed and his eyelids droop as his sore legs get a blissful mash. Body mashing is among the terms coined by Americans Ann Tierney and Steve Sierra, the creators of the Ki-Hara system that Bodowitz and Kelsey Andrews use. Bodowitz and Andrews made several trips to the U.S. to study with Tierney and Sierra, and next month they'll attain the highest level of Ki-Hara certification. Bodowitz describes why Ki-Hara uses body mashing.
Through the process of mashing, I'm gathering a bunch of information, and based on that information that I find, I'll determine where that session's going to go. What are we going to focus on? Is it going to be the rotators of the hips? Are we going to focus more on the upper body, on the shoulders? So, feels good and really useful for us to get a good grasp of what that body is doing and what it needs.
Right quad, see how that guy's doing?
Chris Maddock just endured a rigorous workout with Nate Bodowitz, but a quick mash has him rejuvenated. The fighter, nicknamed Automatic, is a jiu-jitsu specialist who's gaining a reputation for his speedy submissions. He explains how other fighters react after his stretch sessions with Bodowitz.
People notice right off the bat if I've had a stretch session, they avoid me because I move a lot faster and more explosive.
Resist my movement, focus on that glute.
Automatic's teeth clench as he lays with his back on a mat as Bodowitz resists the squeezes, pushes, and pulls of his client's muscles. The relaxing mash is a distant memory for Maddock. This is resistance stretching, the grueling but beneficial aspect of Ki-Hara. It's tough work, but Nate Bodowitz and Kelsey Andrews are strong believers. Andrews says the culture at Stenia shows it can catch on.
If you come in here any morning of any day, you'll see our clients, high performance to moms to business guys, doing dynamic warm-ups and then sitting down in the corner over here and doing their activation exercises and their Ki-Hara resistance stretches. Let's go, Chris, come on.
Nate Bodowitz guides Chris Maddock through explosive, powerful movements in this phase of his workout regimen. Maddock is able to do some of these exercises because Ki-Hara is also in his routine. Bodowitz first used resistance stretching with Maddock to help a nagging shoulder injury, and the fighter saw immediate results. Kelsey Andrews sees Ki-Hara as a bridge between physiotherapy and normal activity.
A lot of our clientele will come to us with notes from their physiotherapist or, post-back injury, post-knee injury, and because of inactivity, their muscles have tightened up. We'll, do small assessments on our clients and then actually write them small rehabilitative programs using the Ki-Hara stretching. Can you hear that?
Trevor Smandich knows a thing or two about injuries and needs the mashing Kelsey Andrews is giving him. He's a Muay Thai fighter who won world titles and now operates a gym in Calgary. Smandich comes to Andrews twice a week for body mashing and resistance stretching to recover from the daily blows he takes. Andrews is seated next to his limp form as she presses her heels and knifes her feet through the fighter's leg and hip as she explains how she'll help Smandich today.
Okay, so Trevor has a tight back today, so one of the areas that we're going to target is his glutes. So right now I'm just gently mashing up on the glute med area, sort of the top of the hip, to pull as much tension as I can out of there. And then I'm going to work down into his glute max, and then underneath into the small rotators of the hip. And then we'll finish off on his hamstrings. And then once those areas are warm, then we'll start to target these areas with actual stretching.
Kelsey Andrews straps Trevor Smandich's leg into a board as he lays on the ground. This board is one of several tools trainers can use to help clients with stretching or mashing. Despite seeing clients benefit, Andrews says a lack of research hurts the credibility of this new program.
It would sort of solidify it as an entity within sort of the therapeutic world. When Kairos first came out, when ART first came out, nobody was doing it because it was weird and no one would cover it. And now it's like a mainstay in any chiropractic or even medical sort of institution. And Ki-Hara needs to go that way. So there needs to be research done on it, but until then, it's basically just deducing it off of old research.
Working with world-renowned athletes like Trevor Smandich benefits a trainer too. This relationship's helped Kelsey Andries find her own kind of stress relief. Fresh off an intense session, a sweaty and gasping Andries talks about her favorite weekly routine.
I started stretching him, and I wanted to learn more about Muay Thai, so he started doing 2 lessons with me every week. And when we moved to the new gym, it just happened to work out that he would come down here and I would stretch him for an hour and a half, and then right after that he would hold pads for me. So Wednesdays he comes in broken, he leaves feeling good, I start feeling good and I leave feeling broken. So right now I'm laying on the floor of the gym totally exhausted.
Andries' Muay Thai sessions benefit Smandich and his fighters too. She knows how to give roundhouses, and when a client complains of a pain, knowing how it happens helps her treat the problem. A couple years ago, Nate Bodowitz ran into troubles too. He explains how Ki-Hara helps solve a common issue for personal trainers.
We were up on the latest in strength, power, agility, good warm-up procedure, good cool-down procedure, but flexibility was something that was lacking. And Ki-Hara sort of fit in perfectly with the way that we look at the human body and the way that we train our athletes and our general population as well. You're walking a lot more neutral.
With Ki-Hara, clients like Chris Maddock enjoy quick gains like a better walking stride after a brief mash and stretch. Kelsey Andries is eager to show more people how resistance stretching can help them, especially those in the medical community.
I know our association with the osteopaths that we worked with here in Calgary has been really good. They're supportive of the technique, and they actually refer people to us on a regular basis, which is awesome. I would love to work on an orthopedic surgeon or a sports med doc that could feel the benefits and sort of see them and hopefully be able to support it as a technique. It's just getting access to them. So it's definitely something that we need to do in the future in order to help, 1, our business grow, and then 2, to help more people benefit from the technique.
Trevor Smandich happily talks to Kelsey Andries as he's mashed, but the words of practitioners and clients are all that proves Ki-Hara right now. Mount Royal University assistant professor and exercise physiologist Heather Ray explains Ki-Hara's knowledge gap.
There's no clinical or even any kind of trial research that's been done on it. So the evidence supporting its effectiveness and benefits is based only on personal experience.
Until research is done, Ki-Hara will be limited to those that seek it out themselves. Ray says that this lack of study means this brand of stretching won't be prescribed.
Whenever we get into a clinical population or an athletic population, anywhere we're using some type of rehab such as stretching, we would only use that has evidence-based to use it. So we know that it's safe, that it's been proven.
Kelsey Andries agrees that this lack of research can scare people off resistance stretching. Yet both she and Ray liken the knowledge shortfall of Ki-Hara to massage or physiotherapy in their early days. Andries notes that until research develops, insurance providers also won't subsidize her stretch sessions.
Until the insurance companies will honor that, it does work in their populations, people coming in off the streets aren't going to be able to claim a, $135 1.5-hour stretch on their health care.
The U of C students aren't paying $100, but they are learning how to self-stretch. It was at another workshop that Nate Bodowitz saw Ki-Hara make a difference.
We were doing a workshop with one of my client's moms, and she has multiple sclerosis, and she had lost sensation through her lower left leg and was never a flexible individual. And something as simple as touching her toes, which a lot of us take for granted, was something that she was never able to do. And through this 2-hour workshop, we showed her a bunch of different movements that would assist her to be able to do so. And by the end of the workshop, she in fact was able to successfully touch her toes. It was a really emotional moment for her, and she teared up a little bit and gave me a big hug, and it's really neat to see people's body change that drastically.
Kelsey Andries wraps up the U of C Ki-Hara tutorial. Many of the 40 students spread around the room have sweat on their faces. Andries asks the glowing group to bend at the waist and try to touch their toes. Raised eyebrows and smiles spread across the class as everyone reaches a few inches lower than an hour before. Ki-Hara may have a few more converts. In Calgary, I'm Greg Buer.